My name is Ronnie Michael, certified public accountant, and this is the Personal Finance Playbook. Improve your finances, improve your life. The title of today's episode is Intellectual Honesty is in Short Supply, the Case of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a topic that seems to elicit a wide range of takes and emotions. There's a camp of people who are quite passionate about Bitcoin saving the planet. Bring up a societal or political issue, and they will say that Bitcoin fixes this and fix the money, fix the world. Then there's a camp of people who don't really know what Bitcoin is. They've heard about it. It's some kind of internet magic money, right? And then there's a camp of people who are quite passionate about Bitcoin being one of the biggest scams ever. Bitcoin is a modern day tulip mania, a bubble, a Ponzi scheme. It has no value. I'm not going to explain what Bitcoin is, the history of money, what problem Bitcoin attempts to solve, or anything like that. Instead, I like to focus on the last camp of people who believe Bitcoin is a scam. Bitcoin has been around since 2009, over 15 years now. Here is a chart showing the history of the price of a single coin. Bitcoin has gone from being worth a few pennies to being worth around $120,000. The market capitalization, or in other words, the market value of all Bitcoins in existence, is over $2 trillion. This makes Bitcoin around the eighth most valuable asset in the entire world, up there with the likes of silver and Amazon. As you can see, the journey to 120K was anything but smooth. There were spectacular peaks and spectacular valleys. Let me ask you, the fair-minded viewer, can you think of any other scam in history that had peaks and valleys like this? When Bernie Madoff was found to be running a Ponzi scheme, did he eventually secure some more clients? Once the scam of Enron was found out, did the stock eventually bounce back in value? How about Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos? Or Sam Bankman Fried and FTX? For basically the entire history of Bitcoin, people have been calling the top, i.e., saying that the price has peaked and will only go down from here. And these are not just random people on Reddit and Twitter. These are people with clout. In 2013, Nobel Prize winning economist Paul Krugman wrote a blog post from the New York Times called Bitcoin is Evil, in which he wrote, "Can this actually work? I have to say that I'm still deeply unconvinced." In 2014, Robert Shiller, another Nobel Prize winning economist, was quoted as saying, "It is a bubble, there is no question about it. It's just an amazing example of a bubble." In 2017, one of the greatest investors ever, Warren Buffett himself, said, "People get excited for big price movements and Wall Street accommodates. You can't value Bitcoin because it's not a value producing asset. It's a real bubble." The following year in 2018, he remarked that Bitcoin is, quote, rat poison squared. In 2021, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, the largest bank in the entire world, said of Bitcoin, "I personally think that Bitcoin is worthless." In 2025, Dimon's bank began offering its clients a cryptocurrency exchange traded mutual fund that includes exposure to, quote, worthless Bitcoin. As far as I know, there's never been any acknowledgement of being wrong from Paul Krugman, Robert Shiller, Warren Buffett, and Jamie Dimon. There hasn't been any acknowledgement of, hey, maybe I didn't fully quite understand what I was talking about. Maybe I should reevaluate where I went wrong and talk to others who perhaps know more than I do. It's totally fine to be skeptical of Bitcoin, but is it responsible and intellectually honest to use such emotionally charged language like worthless or evil or rat poison squared? And given how long Bitcoin has lasted now and the multiple peaks and valleys in its price, is it responsible and intellectually honest to have made such proclamations of doom and not acknowledge that you've been wrong? Unfortunately, intellectual honesty is in short supply these days. What do you think? Does this apply to your life? Leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.